Hello, Heidi Foy here with Bullfrog Creatives. Thank you guys for joining me. Look, you can see the mess on the back on my desk. That's terrible. There, now you can't see my lunch. This is something that I've been working on. Hunter, Ream, and I have been trying to get together for uh, like a month so we can do this broadcast. And we finally made it happen. I don't know that his rodeo career or schedule has slowed down at all, or my life has not slowed down, but we found this magic time right here about 2:30. So stay tuned and we're going to go live with Hunter. All right, I am back. Thank you guys for joining us. And today we have Hunter Ream on the broadcast. Listen, we're not going to talk a whole lot about the moment in the spotlight, but I'm super intrigued about what's happened since then. I think that the name is more widely known, I think, but also where it has taken you and kind of the events that happened at the American and what has happened and what has changed in your life that maybe you weren't expecting or that you were hoping to happen and maybe it happened sooner. So talk to me a little bit about kind of what happened after the American.
So, I got a lot of friend requests, got a lot of messages from folks, a lot of really, really genuine, heartfelt messages, and it's sentimental sounding, but it's also really cool to hear that and hear from people that they say, well, I don't want to be that person that reaches out randomly or this, that, or the other thing, but I enjoy all those because it's very humanizing and
Mhm.
it's great to be able to, I've tried to message everybody back as best I can. And, there's some other really cool opportunities with some companies and, some of the goals that I've had for a long time, they're kind of big, vague goals, but that it provides, opportunity in different areas to accomplish those goals. And so, like growing our industry is one of the biggest things that I want to accomplish. And now I think I can, try and do that in a few different ways. So,
Yeah, I think I think I would be remiss if I didn't say something, but you were brought into the spotlight. Now, I don't want to say you were brought, but you certainly earned your spot in the spotlight in that final round of the American. And I just listened to this podcast I talked to you about that you were on, the Modern Cowboy, I believe it's called, and you talked about you didn't really lose anything because you didn't have it. And I think that's a really, I don't know, it's a different way of thinking of it. A lot of people are like, oh, that check was pulled right out of your hand. How does that feel? And, um, you didn't lose anything that you didn't have it when you rode into the box and you didn't have it when you finally did ride out of the arena. But I think that the way that you framed it and the way that you, quite frankly, the way that you rode out of the arena, very humbling. And I think I mentioned this to you in a world that there's a lot of adults behaving like children everywhere. And so
mhm.
when I sat and watched that with my children, to be able to be proud of how you reacted and show them, like, did you see that? He just had something real bad happen and he walked out with grace and he was humble about it, and like that's a lesson that's super hard to find in our society right now. And so that for me was really what spoke volumes to me, and what kind of drew me to want to have you on this broadcast is that it's super easy to get wrapped up in the emotion of it, but just watching you and being able to use that as a teachable moment for my children was, I appreciate you so much more. I didn't know you before, but just being able to use that with my kids and kind of teach them, like, look, at something bad happened to this young man and he rode out and was still proud of his performance and was still proud of his horse's performance. And he's going to move on and who knows what he's going to do next.
Right. I think simply, it's just everything's all about perspective. So, you have to, be in the moment and everything. But at the end of the day, when you're mentally in tune with yourself and the moment, um, especially with faith, faith
Mhm.
is the goal of faith is to kind of keep our perspective in check. So, um,
Which is,
yeah.
it's hard in situations like that. It's hard when you're competing and you have that adrenaline, but it's really hard when you don't do well. And I think that's a lesson that we try to, I don't know that we ever can really be good at it, truthfully. I mean, it's just something that you keep getting tested in front of you, and you do well and you try to do better the next time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, in this podcast that I listened to, I heard you talk a lot about the Stall High social media program that you're working with, and then
hmm
also kind of the next step of the coaching and stuff like that. I'm super interested to hear about what you're doing with Stall High, and then we can talk about the coaching piece also.
Yeah. So started with Kendra Dixon and Stallhigh back in December, actually, right during the NFR last year. And it's a digital marketing group, and the focus of it is building sales funnels and digital campaigns for companies, especially in the Western industry. And um, I haven't really been able to be that involved since the American, but we're kind of changing the focus a little bit to where I can still be very involved, and I try and help steer people that I think the services would be good for towards her. But it's a really really cool way to kind of bring our industry because a lot of a lot of companies in our industry have found the online profitability, but
Hmm.
a lot of our industry is very old school, which is a strength and a weakness. And the goal with Stall High is to kind of trying to help bring those opportunities to what 2021 can offer in technology and opportunities like that. So um, that's the focus there.
Hmm.
And and then the mentoring side of it is at this point I think it's still going to be kind of a smaller group and more of a one-on-one kind of focus. But I really want to grow that into a community and a bigger group in time as I figure out exactly how to do that.
Well, and I think speaking to the stuff that you're doing with Stall High, one of the things that our original intent when I started Bullfrog Creatives was to provide those services and help provide those types of digital marketing services to cowboys, almost like a cowboy agent. Um, and one of the things that I realized is that, well, I knew this before, but cowboys are not going to pay very well because they can't. I mean, I understand what it's like going down the road, but also that it's so difficult unless your wife or your girlfriend is with you or your significant other is with you to take those pictures on the road and to do that stuff kind of hand in hand with you as the athlete. It can be difficult, and so I think that what Stall High is doing is a great service and something that I realized too, as far as digital marketing, it kind of opens the doors for the athlete at all levels, be it just amateur or professional or even college and high school. Those athletes now are able to reach a market where they really maybe couldn't before. If you're just going to high school rodeos, you're not really reaching and you're not traveling as much as a professional cowboy. And in this regard, now with everything being digital, you can reach so many more people and just as many as that professional athlete if you're building your page and you're building your kind of your community as a whole. So I think it's going to be really fun to sit back and watch and see how it changes the Western industry.
Absolutely, yeah, and you know the real big focus with it too is companies with good products to sell that maybe were
Mhm.
limited by demographics or geographics actually,
Mhm.
and now bridging that gap with technology is you can there might be a company in Montana that's 6 hours from anything, but now we
Yeah.
can figure out a way to reach their audience online and get their products to anybody in the country or possibly the world, and um, it's like what Amazon does, but we want to try
Yeah.
and do that for folks in our industry because there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Put it to
really
scale.
really cool products that we have to provide people.
Yeah, there really is. So I know that you have um, I would say this is made evident. Have you found, I guess, what's the biggest thing that has changed since the American for you that you were not expecting?
Um, I don't know because I didn't really expect much to begin with. I mean, obviously I
Right.
expected to go compete and do well, and when you get to that stage, there's exposure and things like that. Um, But I think what's been really cool is just the response across the board from individuals to companies to um, people I never even thought I would hear from. I guess that's been the greatest surprise, I guess you could say, is just um, like I said, when I talked to Justin McKee on the Pro Rodeo tonight, like I said, it was a very humanizing event, and I think with the way the last year has been, a lot of people needed something like that. And so if that's what that moment was, then that's great, and I just hope it continues to build and people take it a step further in their lives for somebody else, and it
Hmm.
just kind of compounds into more of a cultural change.
Something, yeah. Well, so what's interesting? I felt like there was also, like during the NFR, it was a completely different experience for not only contestants but also those of us that are couch cowboys. All of us that are sitting at home. It felt different. It looked different. I mean, I'm a big fan. I was the openings production manager here at the college finals for 8 years, and I'm a big fan of telling a story in the openings. And to be able to see that at the level of the NFR and the wonderful stories that they told that really promoted being proud to be an American and proud to be a cowboy and how with the people that are in our lives. I think I feel like that was also one of those moments where people really needed that after 2020 and at the end of that. And then I kind of feel like you're absolutely right. We also needed to see, I don't know, good things, good people, and seeing your reaction and the I don't know. It's kind of hard to put it to words, but just the humbleness that you kind of showed in the arena, I feel like really did make a change and hopefully impacted a lot of people. But I think there were a few things there at the end of the year and the beginning of this year that kind of changed everyone's perspective, I think.
Yeah, rodeo is America's sport, and I think more people are latching onto that idea.
Yeah.
There's a
So I
lot of
think
good things to promote.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that you did mention is, maybe this coaching thing is kind of on the horizon for you, but you have now established a great platform to start from. You probably have more friends on Facebook than you can imagine now, or that you don't know, or haven't met, or have only talked to on social media. But what a great reach you have now to spread a message, whether it's a message of faith, whether it's a message of, how to come in with the right attitude and how to lose like a winner and how to win like a winner. It's a really really big opportunity, so I'm pretty excited to see where God leads you now.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So I know that you were just in Yuma, I believe. What is your next, I mean, I guess what's on the schedule now?
So I fly out this evening. I'm in Arizona still, and I fly out this evening to California, back to Clovis. And I rope tomorrow and tomorrow and Wednesday in Clovis, and then it's a progressive rodeo. So the top 36 will come back this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then a short round on Sunday. And I also entered Lufkin, Texas, for Saturday night as well. So um, all things go well in Clovis, and I may still, try and make Lufkin, but if not, then I'll go to Lufkin, and then next week I've got Guyman, Oklahoma starting as well. So after Guyman, it kind of mellows out a little bit more into some rodeos in Texas, and Redding, California comes up in another month, and then hopefully, come June 1st, there'll be a lot more of the normal kind of summer
Yeah.
rodeos starting to kick off, and some northern rodeos like Colorado and then Reno. Reno's going to happen, so it gets pretty crazy pretty quick.
Yeah, it does. So talk to me. I know that you're not riding your own horse at all of these rodeos. I mean, what is it like to step on somebody else's mount?
That's a blessing. First off, the guys, horses are hard to find, so for a guy to trust you to
Hmm.
get on his horse is really awesome. Like Roger Nonella let me ride his horse, Mickey, at Redmond, Oregon, and Red Bluff, and that's that horse fit really, really well. So it's a really, really cool opportunity when they fit that well, and it's fun. Um, but it is, it is a challenge because like Lovis, I'm going to get on a horse I've never been on before, and I'm still not 100% sure which one I'm getting on yet. But you just try and match styles. You watch guys
Mhm.
that rope similar to you and have horsepower that kind of matches your
What you're used
ability,
to.
right? And it's a little bit more seamless transition versus if I get on something that doesn't really fit, because the style's a lot different, then it's a pretty big challenge, I think, to make good runs. And that's the other thing is you got to rope against 85 other guys that can win at any
Yeah.
moment. So um, you just try and put your best foot forward, and hopefully it works out.
So I know that kind of the horse shearing happens super frequently in the steer wrestling. Is it common in the calf roping or is it a little less common?
Yeah, not so much, just because like I say, guys kind of get their horses tuned to them, and
Hmm.
most of the time, people prefer to be on their own horse. I mean, I would love to be
Right.
on my own horse, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get him physically to the rodeos by myself, and so that's kind of why I am where I am. But I know other guys that have, um, they're going to rope at Clovis and they're going to send their horse to Texas, and just because they know they want to be on their horse that they know, and
Hmm.
so everybody kind of has a different preference and style of how to do things. I would prefer to have my horse there, but I just couldn't quite get it worked out. So um, then then like I said, you got to rely on someone, and it's really a blessing when somebody says, "Yeah, man, get on my horse,"
Yeah,
because
go for
that's
it.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So let's rewind a little bit, a few years. Um, Talk to me about, because this platform has focused primarily on college rodeo and college rodeo alum. I'd love to talk about kind of your experience college rodeoing. I know you originally went to college to play football and then had a back injury, which I can definitely relate to that.
Mhm.
Talk to me about the transition. Like, I know that you junior rodeoed here, WJRA. Um, why didn't you originally go to college for rodeo, and then what made you kind of make that switch besides the injury? Because rodeo can't be much easier on your back than football.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that was a God thing too. Just the way it all happened. But I wanted to play football because I knew my timeline with football was a little shorter than rodeo,
Hmm.
and just like the way it worked out, football kind of ran its course, and then I was able to get back in the rodeo, and I'm 27, so um, I'm a few years, I guess, behind what you would normally think of, but I still have plenty of time to get done what I want to get done, and so that's why I chose football, and why I went to Cal Poly because Cal Poly had everything. They had really, really good academics, pretty good
Hmm.
football team, a good rodeo team. Plus, it's in a beautiful part of the country, and so I pursued football, like I said, and got hurt, and just wasn't really the same athlete anymore. I couldn't really run and hit and do some of the things that I needed to do for football, and I gave it time. That was in the spring of 2013, I guess. And by the end of that summer, I was back, roping and riding and stuff, and got back on the cap force I had through high school, and um, just kind of got back into roping some. So, and then that's when Ben Londo became the coach at Cal Poly too, and it just the way everything worked out, the timeline it worked out on, I think it was for the best.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if Ben was coach when you were there, so I figured it was right around the same time when he first started.
Yeah, his first year was my first year rodeo and my second year of college.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
he's awesome.
So then, I know you have a construction management degree. See, I
Switch
have
mate,
been stalking you. It's kind of
sw-
weird.
yeah, I switched majors to that too because of Ben. He was
Oh
a
man.
pretty big
So talk to
influence.
me. Yeah, so you actually had a pretty good hand in the new facility. Am I right?
Parts of it, yeah. So I mean, when Ben came on board, that program ramped up
Hmm.
tenfold in the 4 years I was there. Um, and we rebuilt the arena. We rebuilt stall barns. We started rebuilding the catch pens. Now I think I haven't been back since I graduated, unfortunately, but um, I think they're building a new like office and meeting area, and they've just
Hmm.
built onto the facility more and more. And the coolest thing I did when I was there was we outgrew our facility for our college rodeo, um, and we put it on. We put Poly Royal on in the Spano Stadium in the football field my senior year, and
Oh,
that
super
was
cool.
yeah, that was awesome. I mean, we put a football or to put an arena on a football field and had it on and off in 72 hours. Had a rodeo, had 13,000 people in the stands. It
Wow.
was crazy.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Well, I think it's a great, I was blown away. I did a college profile with Ben. I think he was one of the coaches that came on early when I started doing this, and I was totally blown away by the academics and the all the programs that he was able to talk about that are specific to Cal Poly. So, what a great school and a great program to be a part of.
yeah. I
I've
think
not been
they
paid to say that either.
I think they added he added something to the program where you can get like a master's in leadership or something
Hmm.
and kind of coach. And I joked
Oh,
with him.
cool.
I found out about that. I don't know when it was, a few months ago. And I was joking with him. I was like, man, I'm going to come back to Cal Poly for one more year. It'd be awesome.
Why not? They give you an extra year now if you're going to get your master's degree. They probably did when you were there too. They didn't do that when I was there.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they'd let me come back as a quadruple senior or not.
Eh, who's counting?
Right.
Well, listen, I will let you go. I so appreciate your time. I know that we had a really hard time getting together, but I definitely appreciate it. I know that hopefully, I wish really good things for you in your future, clearly in the arena, but also outside the arena. I'm excited to see, I can't wait to hear about the mentorship stuff that's coming your way and all the great things. I think that, while it was a somewhat negative performance, I think it's going to bring really good things to your life and everybody that you have an opportunity to impact.
Absolutely. That's the plan.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in live. I certainly appreciate it. I know y'all had to hang in there with me because our times changed a little bit. Time zones can be, well, let's be honest, they're the shits. So, you guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If you, as you know, we interview colleges and alumni on the broadcast. If you guys have a coach or a program that you would like more information about, please shoot me a message and I will do my best to get them on. It's a busy time of year right now for these college coaches and for college rodeo in general. Um, so I do have a little announcement before I get too far. I want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans. They have been, as you all know, so grateful for their partnership with us, and also grateful for them because we will be having our broadcast at the College National Finals Rodeo. We will be doing something similar to what Jim Boy Hash and I did, the NFR Hangover during the NFR. It will not be called the CNFR Hangover because that just wouldn't be right. So we'll come up with a catchy name, but you please stay tuned, watch us during the college finals. And again, message us if you have any questions about college rodeo or any of the coaches, and we will do our best to get them on the broadcast. So you guys have a wonderful weekend or week. Oh my gosh, it's only Monday and I said weekend. You got to hang tight for a few more days till the weekend, okay? You can do it. Anyways, you guys have a good week and we will see you next week.